Hey everybody, Happy New Year. This is the first episode of 2026. There's no way out. No way out of America, no way out of our country falling apart, no way out of another horrible year, and no way out of Texas. And I'm here with Kyle Lewis. Kyle, how you feeling, brother?
Well, I'm trapped because there's no way out. What are we gonna do? We are here and we're just gonna be watching wrestling because there's no way out. There's nothing we can do.
Well, there's a way out of watching wrestling because again, we're recording this in the past, you're in the future, but as of January 1st, all of this will be gone off Peacock, so we're just gonna have to watch nothing actually. No wrestling. Wrestling's over. So
Just whatever's on the Raw vault and
yeah,
SmackDown.
we can watch two episodes from 2001 on a loop, and then it'll play Stranger Things.
The full year
Um,
of 2022 and
20,
2023. So
they have those full years.
yeah, 2022 to 2024. So if you like the rise and fall of Austin Theory, um, this is the stuff for you.
Oh man, I can't wait to watch all my favorite Austin Theory matches again and again. But let's not talk about current stuff because again, tonight we're recording this on a Saturday, World's End. We're not going to know what happens at World's End. For all we know, Jericho could return, MJF could win the belt, Adam Copeland could win the belt. A lot of things could happen. You know, Ric Flair could pass out drunk in the back. A lot of things could happen. So we're going to focus on what we know happened, which was the past, which was No Way Out. Kyle, what did you think of the show overall?
This just felt like a filler show. Just like we need something in between for WrestleMania. And of course, the big Shawn Michaels elephant in the room kind of put a whole damper on the entire show. Plus the choice of Savio Vega, while obviously not a bad wrestler, and logically speaking, in a non-sanctioned match, you probably want Savio Vega on your side. Just the lack of a good surprise. Like if you did that today, it would just be reamed, and you would just see all the engagement accounts bringing this up like 8 months later. Like, remember this? What was this about? And the crap like that. So I think this was just like we got to get the Mania. It's like nothing. We got nothing. So let's put on a show.
Um, which we'll call it. So Bruce Pritchard explained like they always try to get someone better, and there really was no one better that they could realistically get. And then they were like, well, who's going to make the match better? And I think Austin and Triple H were like, Savio will make the match better at least. Like he is, in terms of work rate, they felt that he was the closest to Shawn Michaels of who they had available. Of course, obviously, maybe they could have put The Rock in there, or it had to. I think it did have to be someone who didn't wrestle before on the show, right?
Yeah.
So they all were like, well, if it's not going to be holy shit, like the audience got their money's worth, at least can we get the work rate at the same level or just slightly below it? And that was Savio for everyone. So they went, fuck it, let's put Savio in.
Which I understand. It's still like disappointing.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
like if
Even
you're
as
a kid, if
oh,
you're a
sorry,
kid on the Christmas is over, but if you're a kid and unfortunately you don't get a gift and you're grateful for the gift that you get, but your parents can tell you the story of how they went to 8 different stores to get like the Megazord and they just couldn't do it, so they got you, I don't know, Goldar, and then like you'll understand, but you're still just like a little like all right, thanks.
um, I will say though, bro, they're like this is the year that WWE beats WCW, right? Their
Hmm.
fucking roster. You watch this show, their roster is like there's nothing on this roster. Like this is they have nothing to work with. And here's the thing though, they have three big things to work with. And you might be surprised by this. I don't know if you maybe will. You have Austin, you have The Rock, and one of the biggest surprise I think on this whole journey now has been Kane.
Yes.
Um, Kane is really stepping up. He is not. I don't think I realized how this guy was a loser a year ago, and now he's in the main events, and he's not. He's like he stepped it up. And you have these three guys, and obviously you have the Undertaker, but you really don't have like the problem is once Austin gets the belt, who's he gonna wrestle? Like fucking Kama Mustafa Like there's nobody, and thank God Vince Russo, I gotta think it's his idea, had the out of the box idea to make Vince McMahon the main villain. Because bro, if they like went to like a feud and didn't do the like, I guess you could turn Vader heel, but they've made him look like a buffoon. Like there's no one for these three guys to work with, really.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean
yeah.
the combination of that and eventually what they do with Mankind and
Hmm.
Undertaker, it works out for them. But you definitely needed Vince McMahon, Mr. McMahon, to be a character and
Yeah,
have this Austin McMahon rivalry. Like otherwise, there really was nothing. And this show shows it. Some of these matches, you're like, oh my God.
yeah. And people now like so around this time, Vince offered a contract to Ultimate Warrior, and people like oh how stupid was that? But you look at this roster, it's like if you can get the Warrior, you should probably get the Warrior because there's not again. And the other thing, the fourth most over person or the third most no, The Rock's not over yet to that level. The third most over person on this show is Sable, and she can't wrestle, or
Yeah.
they have to make her wrestle. Like that's it's like so I understand why he went for Warrior and offered Warrior another big contract because it's like there's nothing like I have Austin I have The Rock I think I have The Rock I don't know if I have The Rock and I would so Vince did not believe in Triple H in this era and he should have stuck to that but Vince didn't see anything in Triple H so it's like I would ask for the Warrior the one person I'm surprised they didn't bring back because I think they could have used him. And he was only working indies this year. Psycho Sid. Like, if there's ever a moment for Psycho Sid to
Hmm.
return, it's this show.
Maybe he didn't want to come back. I know he's always like on and off, and there's just no like reports about it.
Hmm.
But maybe Sid just didn't want to be part of it because he just kind of faded out in 1997 and then was just gone until he
Yeah,
showed up in ECW and like was like the man, and then he
yeah,
went back to being the Sid from WCW.
yeah. Well, I know after WCW folded, he really wanted to go back, and it only
Well, he
happened once.
couldn't
That was.
fucking walk. So I mean,
I know,
like,
but he thought when he got his leg back, he was like, "Oh, I could wrestle like John Cena." Sid versus John
yeah,
Cena was fire. Let's
they would have made it work.
that would have been like in 2000 like in 2010 Sid versus Cena that would have been a fire match. I would have listen. It would have been better than Cena versus Great Khali. So you know. But yeah, there's not a lot to work with. But there is some interesting stuff happening on this show. Again, it's all the more impressive that they beat the shit out of WCW when you WCW just dude, it's like a fucking army of talent on that end, and then there's this, and it's all the more impressive. And that just shows you how good the 4 or 5 top guys, I'm including Mankind. I'll even include Triple H in this, even though he's a piece of shit. How good the top 5 guys are. That with just those top 5 guys, they were able to carry this roster to destroy perhaps the greatest all-star team in wrestling history in 1998 WCW. You know?
I mean, you could look at it as a precautionary tale. AEW's roster, and I like AEW, obviously, has some of the best talent in the world, or the best wrestle, as they like to say.
Mhm.
WWE, you got Cody Rhodes. You got not that they don't have wrestlers. There's some great wrestlers, but people run in droves to see Cody, the Woe, the Yeats, the OTCs, all these like big name characters and trademarks and things that these people do. They're not running as much to AEW, despite AEW's incredible roster and better storytelling in 2025. So maybe both places can take from each other. I don't know. Not talent, but some
Yeah,
lessons.
the storytelling.
Yeah.
Well, I think the big thing with early '98, because again, these matches aren't it. It is kind of like, and I make fun of them now about this, but it is kind of about moments. Austin flipping off Mike Tyson is a moment. That's a TikTok
Yeah.
viral moment. Austin stunnering China at the end of this show, which they played over and over again in the next few weeks. That's a TikTok moment, and they were able to mask that these shows aren't very good until they got to WrestleMania with these moments, because everyone thinks the turning point was Mike Tyson Austin, and certainly it might have been, but WCW still had the better show, you know.
Yeah.
And but
Yeah, we
like they
watched Sold Out. We were like, this show is incredible.
Way better.
except for like the top roster.
Yeah, way better than Royal Rumble 98. And they were able to coast on those moments until the storyline could get there. And I got to give Russo and McMahon credit because they had the patience to build. It was a build. They could have rushed it. They could have had Vince McMahon walk out after Survivor Series 97 and go, fuck you, Austin. Ah. But they built it to where McMahon has no choice but to now I'm going to get physically involved on the show because this
That
guy's picking me up so
that's
much.
how they tell it in the DVDs that it just kind of happened like right away. He screws Brett and then he's the evil immediately.
No, he's still like playing like this, and that. And finally, Austin, but Austin kind of has his number. And every now and then he kind of breaks character a little bit. But um, he's still like is trying to be like the jolly, happy owner
Hmm.
until the night after WrestleMania. And that's when, and then 2 weeks later, he's in the ring.
Yeah.
And the build, it it felt like a natural character evolution. Sometimes you have to be patient. So I would say like if you have some crazy turn for fucking MJF, build to it. Don't have MJF. If MJF is gonna become like a different character, don't do it over a week. Build to it, and that's what they did with Vince McMahon because
Yeah.
it was very yeah. They do try to act like it came out of nowhere. No, no, no. It's a slow climb to get there, and then he just fucking goes ballistic for 20 years and gets arrested. Anyway,
Yeah, yes. That's the abridged version.
so all right, here we go. So the show starts. They kind of try to build hype. I'm wondering if like they were on the phone with someone that they thought like because they're trying to build hype that there might be someone really good, and then as soon as they get to the interviews with New Age Outlaws and Triple H, they downplay who the replacement will be. But when the show starts, they're acting like they're kind of hinting that it might be a big deal. But yeah, the start of the show, Jim Ross, Jerry Lawler, do you have some funny one-liners? At one point, Jim Ross goes to Jerry Lawler. You have a good lawyer, don't you? Never mind, because
Mm.
Jerry Lawler got off on those rape charges.
Yep, I remember that.
So like they do like these little they have like some funny lines those two. But we kick off the show. The first match is Marvelous Mark Marrow and the artist formerly known as Goldust versus the Headbangers. Before we get into the match, I met Goldust in real life at Caroline's, and I realized that then.
Hmm.
But man, he is a big fucking guy. When you see him next to the Headbangers, and like he's like not really, he's like dressed differently now. He's like showing more of his body. That is a big fucking man, right?
Yeah. No, he's a big dude. Like he's like six, I almost said 6'7", but he's pretty big.
Yeah, he's fucking
I don't
huge.
know his actual height, but he is 6'6".
Wow. Yeah, he's just a big. He's like a big husky. Like they always kind of downplayed what a big dude he was, and
Yeah.
you see him in the ring with the Headbangers. Like this fucking guy's massive. So I want to before we get to the match, I want to talk about like some history. Whenever people shit on the Attitude Era or they shit on how women were treated before the women's revolution, they always use Sable. Sable, that people were just into Sable because of the tits, and Sable did nothing. And I think they act like Sable was blowing guys every week on Raw or something. People were invested in her character on this show. She gets a massive pop, and when she comes out to stand up for herself, people are not cheering her because they want to see her breasts. They're cheering her because they want to see her stand up to the bad guys. Like they were invested in her as a character, and I kind of think it's bullshit that they keep like downplaying. Like she had something. I'm not saying that she was fucking Sasha Banks or anything, but she had something that made people believe in her because they're cheering her because she's coming out at the end of the match. She's coming out to stand up for herself, and that's what they're cheering. And she gets a bigger pop than half the guys, and her ratings were she would beat Nitro in the quarter hours. Her and Austin were the ones who start beating everybody. So I kind of get annoyed that they downplay her success and they downplay what she brought to the show because I think that's downplaying all of women when you do that. Like you have to give her credit. What do you think?
No, I agree. I remember those segments. Usually, again, with the revisionist video packages and DVDs, You have they just kind of show her like taking the top off, or well, you can't even show half of those moments anymore.
Yeah.
But those are the moments that they fixate on with Sable, and that was not always the case. It was a classic story of like an abusive partner, verbally abusive this time partner, and like a damsel, if you want to call her a damsel, in distress, and then she eventually stands up to him. Something that is empowering today.
Yeah.
It's still empowering that you can tell. And that was a big part of Sable's growth, her rise, and eventually WrestleMania, her victory. And yeah, it's just not really talked about, maybe because of the bad blood in the past, or so they want to downplay it. But no, she doesn't get that. She doesn't really get that credit.
No, she doesn't. Well, dude, people like AEW fans on Blue Sky and like some wrestling journalists yelled at me because I said the Sable stuff was good. Yelled at me that I'm like a misogynist, like people have just like, and it's because WWE does a great job of reprogramming people's minds and don't think they're being
Oh,
reprogrammed
they're amazing at it. Yeah.
because they think they're shitting on WWE. They think I'm the guy. They think I'm. It's like, bro, like she was over as a character. Like she wasn't just over because she was hot. Like, and she wasn't just like showing off her breast every fucking episode. She had
Yeah.
interviews and shit. She had angles. She had fucking feuds. Like people liked the feuds. Like they wanted to see her win. There was no other woman getting these pops in
Because Sonny,
1998.
because Sonny was hot. No one gave a shit
Nobody gave it. Oh,
by 1998. It was just like, all right, what else you got? So obviously Sable had something extra to her, which is also why Vince McMahon hired her, in
yeah.
addition to being an attractive woman.
And WWE, they would rather make themselves look bad than give her the credit because I do think once she shows up, a woman is a main character on the show until this day. You know, they never go away. There's never a point where there's like no women on the show, which like
Yeah,
there's parts of like 95 where the women are like barely on the show. There's always a woman featured on a WWE show starting with Sable. And they don't want to give her credit. So I almost feel like they would rather you think that they were a bunch of misogynist slobs in 1998.
until 2015 when the Bellas.
Yeah. So they can downplay what Sable brought to the table. And because they don't like her. And they brainwash. And sometimes people who think they're like anti-Fed, they're more Fed brain pilled than I am because they just listen to the shitty revisionist history. It's crazy how they do that. It's
No,
WWE
there's many
should.
different pockets because there's those fans, and I hate these words. I hate that like Fed is such a bad word that people try and like be, oh, the Fed, like shut up. It's just lame to me personally. But then you have I forgot what I was saying. Well, you have those fans. You also have those like anti-attitude era fans thinking about everything about it was bad, everything would when it wasn't. Obviously, if you're looking for Okada Omega, yeah, you're not getting it there. You're not gonna get it there. But there were a lot of good moments. There are a lot of exciting moments. There are definitely some terrible ones. There's some awful ones. You were making weekly TV, weekly shock TV, and sometimes it was gonna be good, sometimes it was gonna be bad. A lot of it doesn't age well, but that doesn't mean that the entire era was like this disgusting thing. Like I just can't stand the way people regurgitate some of this stuff.
Yeah, and if the Attitude Era was so bad, how come they made so much money and nobody's watching AEW but you? I mean, like, come on, like you have to like, are we? Is it because everyone's just a piece of shit? But like the 50,000 people that watch Collision, like you have to fucking what?
The whole collision. No, I mean WWE fans shit on the Attitude Era too. I
I know,
think, but it's
like,
also people who were not born. That's like me
yeah,
being like, oh, well, Bruno Sammartino versus Larry Sabisco wasn't a big deal. Like it was a big deal. I wasn't alive for it, but it was a big deal.
fucking Bruno versus Ivan Koloff, people almost jumped off buildings at that. Here's the thing: I wasn't there. I can't judge or I can my thing is way better. Do I think once Hogan shows up, WWF? Yes. To be honest with you, 70s and early 80s WWF is unwatchable. The territories were better. The
Maybe
territories were better.
maybe that's why they're taking it off.
Yeah, but like I still, but also I can't say that because I wasn't. I know people. PJ Landers, for example, grew up loving Bob Backlund. So I can't put myself in those shoes because he doesn't know, and to this day, he doesn't know. He doesn't know about Okada. He doesn't know about Austin. He doesn't even know about Hulk Hogan. He just wants to see Bob Backlund. So
Yeah.
can't judge it and be like, well, my thing is way better. The Bob Backlund stuff doesn't hold up. Okay, go fuck yourself. If it's not for Bob Backlund, we don't have. If it was for Bob Backlund, we don't have Cody Rhodes and fucking Hangman Page. That's just the way it works. If things
Yeah.
have to build upon things. Well,
Maybe Bob Backlund. I don't know his health. Get him at the Comedy Village. Get him
um,
to a spot.
he won't leave, I guess. Bob
He
Backlund. All
used
right,
to
let's
be
get.
very healthy 10 years ago, but who knows?
Yeah, the fact that he's outliving Hogan is fucking hilarious, and the Sheik. They should give him the belt again.
He
So
used to
here we go.
walk everywhere. That's what I remember the rumor. I think he used to walk from Connecticut to to New York and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, he's a health freak, man.
Yeah.
He's a disciplined guy. I mean, you have to give him credit. He never gets the credit that he deserves.
He's only
And
76.
yeah,
All right, back to the show.
doing great. Yeah. All right, here we go. So we get this match. They kick Sable out. Then they have the match. Goldust is supposed to be Marilyn Manson. This artist formerly known shit doesn't age well. But I will say that the
It's
match is very house show friendly. This is very much like an opening house show match. The crowd is okay with it. Sable gets him back, and Sable's starting to show some acting chops. So that's all right. It's a fine opening house show tag match, but I don't know if it's a pay-per-view match, but it's okay. What you think?
it was all right. I wasn't like the biggest fan of it. It was a little disappointing if you're an old school WCW fan to see Johnny B. Bad and Dustin Rhodes beat these like loser characters right now instead of the upper mid card main eventers that you thought they could have turned into. But it was what it was there. Thrasher gets busted open really bad in the match, which would not happen today. They would have stopped the match. They would have made sure he was all right, but he just keeps going. And the other thing that I know is this is just me being a headbangers person. He they're wearing the different skirts. Usually Mosh wears red and Thrasher wears black. Thrasher's wearing red and Mosh is wearing black, and it threw me off a little bit. But other than that, the match was fine. It was there. The
Yeah,
Sable part was the most exciting part.
yeah, I get the sense that the headbangers are realizing that they're being given up on and they're not trying as much. I will say, I would love if you could open up a portal. I'll say this in AEW's defense. You can open up a portal and put the Godwins and the Headbangers in today's AEW tag scene. I think that would be something special. I think both of them would step it up.
Big fighting the Outrunners.
Bro, I was about to say Headbangers was Outrunners and FTR
Yeah.
versus the Godwins, and
The
even like
those they would
Okada
do it
and
now. That's the crazy part.
but
If they had the licenses to the Headbanger team and the Godwins team, they would do that shit now. AEW. Remember when WWE brought back the Headbangers and the Spirit Squad in like 2016?
yeah, and the Headbangers were on the. They should have, but they should have like tried to. They were still young guys. They should have like tried a little bit more with the Headbangers. I think.
Yeah.
That was weird when they came back. Oh, well, that was. I was excited because they were like I think they were a surprise, and then I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
they were surprised. I think I didn't see it live, and they were like the Headbanger. I was like, what? And then I had to like see it for myself. I was like, what are you talking about, the Headbangers? Or they were in like the tag tournament or something. Something really
yeah,
weird.
Spike Dudley, Heath
Yeah.
Slater beat them. What a great time. That was a good time.
Sadder news. Apparently, allegedly, according to Bret Hart, Bob Black Backlund has dementia and is currently living with his sister.
Oh, okay. Well, he's still alive. Hogan's dead. So what are you gonna? So I guess he,
Yes.
I guess he won, brother. All right, here we go. This to me, oddly a missed opportunity. Michael Cole asked the question, are you gonna get a good one with Austin? And he just blows it off. Yeah, stay out of my way, I'll stay out of your way. Anyway, the Hunter, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, like this could have been they really are downplaying the Owen Hart thing because what if like when DX was beating up Austin, because they show clips of that, Owen Hart comes
Hmm.
out. saves him, and he goes like, "I don't like you, and you don't like me. We gotta work together because they screwed my brother, and they're gonna screw you, baby." Woo! There's an opportunity here to like do something dramatic and like have Owen and Austin like shake hands or have them cut a promo about their issues. And maybe Austin was like, "I don't want any of that," but Owen has ready-made shit with Austin and Shawn Michaels, and neither guy wants to do anything with him, and it just leaves him in a weird position because there's money to be made here, and he's just brushing it off so he can feud with Triple H, and who's apparently the only guy who's willing to like fuck with him. Weird promo, huh?
I think they with Owen in the case of Owen, they did not want him to be the guy. They did not want him to be the guy. They didn't want to have a situation where he usurps Austin. So they definitely kept him at bay. They also probably didn't want to remind people of Bret Hart, since Bret Hart's in WCW. So like, oh, let's flip over and see what Bret's doing. I don't necessarily agree with it. I get it. I think the Blackheart character could have been much more, but then you kind of have two Stone Colds running around at the same time. So if they were gonna put the kibosh on anyone, it was Owen. They didn't have to do it in the way they do it, because for someone who's supposed to be avenging people, he's much happier than he should be. But they definitely think there's more they could have done with him.
I kind of think it was. I remember. I think it was good that he was in Nation. I think that worked out. I think
That
that
worked out. Yeah.
right at that time. It's like what's going on, but that worked out. That was good because The Rock was about uniting people. He wasn't about separating. The Rock's Nation. All right. Sunny comes out. No pop. She's trying hard, man. Beautiful woman. If I had to choose, I'd pick her over Sable. I know back then. Now I'd probably pick Sable because Sable's not a murderer.
Yeah.
But in '98, I was all about Team Sunny. But I gotta be honest. I gotta be impartial. She doesn't have what Sable has at this moment. Sable has the crowd, and Sunny doesn't.
She has no direction. The character has no direction. She's just a girl, just a hot girl. She used to be a manager when she was Body Donna, Smoking Gun Valley Sunny. She was one of the most popular people in the company. Just hated, and they did the terrible stuff that they did to her. Here she has no character. Chris Candido's gone. The Smoking Guns are broken up. They don't want to put her with anyone. They put her with somebody soon, but it's just nothing for her to do. And being hot can only get you so far.
Yeah, and I feel like Sable's able to do the next level. Sable actually does a decent job at WrestleMania, and Sonny was never willing to go down that road.
Yeah, she didn't want to be a wrestler. She wrestles, I think, once in WWE in that shitty battle royal that they did for WrestleMania 25, where she's in and out.
And I think she had some indie matches where she like does something, but uh, yeah, it's there's not much you can do with that character because she doesn't want to move out of her comfort zone, and Sable is. So you got to give Sable that credit. But we get
Hmm.
to the light heavyweight championship match: Taka Michinoku versus Pantera. And again, they're doing this, but they're not doing it right. Brian Christopher is on commentary, calling him slanty eyed, making Mexican
Yeah,
jokes. So Pantera's supposed to
yeah.
be your friend. The crowd doesn't care about this. And after Taka wins, he attacks the Lawler brothers or the Lawler father and son. Brian Christopher kind of ruins it. He kind of ruins it. You're trying to outdo WCW with this, and he's just being racist, and it's just when Brian Cruz was out there saying all this bullshit, they're never going to take this serious. So why should I take it seriously? And the athletes are better in the WCW cruiserweight division. So I don't know. It's just it was okay, but it's just not there.
No, I agree. I think unfortunately they don't have all the good athletes. They have the best who else they can get. Everyone's in WCW, and I don't know what Super Crazy was doing or
He
other
was
people who
actually,
were around at that time. The Tajiri, because they go to ECW eventually, and they're
yeah,
not there yet. Or even make a deal with ECW, Mikey Whipwreck or something. I don't know. Some of the Nova. Nova was eventually Simon Dean, and Nova was very innovative. I don't know if he was lightweight level, but it's something that they're not taking very seriously yet. They maybe because it's the lack of maybe because of the talent or maybe because of the lack of superstars. But at this time, they just don't take the heavyweight division as seriously, and it suffers. It's only three people in it, technically only two. So what are you
Yeah,
gonna do?
yeah, it's rough. Well, Super Essa Rios is there. I think he's under Papi Chulo, so he's
Yeah,
there.
he's next month when they fight at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
But
you
at the
gotta.
time, yeah,
Yeah, he's not there. Aguilar, I think, also, but like,
yeah. Also, I don't think they know the styles yet because like, I think they think everyone's styles are similar. I don't think Taka's style is as well. He can wrestle and do high flying moves. He is not necessarily the lucha libre style. He's more like a mix of both. Brian
it's
Christopher's
very,
WWE style.
it's a very like weird. It's just they're trying, but like you can tell that their heart's not into it. Like it was,
Yeah.
it like it.
Yeah, they just want something to compete with WCW, who once again with styles, all those people know what to do. They've been doing these for years. They could Rey Mysterio and Psychosis could fight in their sleep and put on a better match than Taka and Pantera. No disrespect to them.
Yeah, it's rough. Okay, so Cactus and Funk cut a promo at the AOL chat room. Again, all this stuff. Someone needs to be saving this shit. They kind of just seem all over the place. Terry Funk is probably like, "What's this internet thing?" Getting all confused. Then we cut to man, this fucking. So I think Vince made a lot of calls to people because the Quebecers are back. The
Yep.
Quebecers are back for a cup of coffee. Jacques Rougeau and Pierre Lafitte. And let me tell you something, they're back and worse than ever. They look like shit. Uh, and they're back. And after two matches with no heat, nothing's better than two heel tag teams wrestling.
Ooh, I mean, I guess that's a lesson they don't learn because recently Julia and Chelsea Green were feuding, and that feud, I don't know if that's supposed to help or hurt Julia, but it's not going anywhere. They've been doing since they still do the heel thing.
Yeah, I don't get like these both teams are heels, but whatever.
Without
Maybe
a story, because Shawn Michaels, Rick Martel, both guys were heel, but they had a
yeah,
story about Sensational Sherry. I might be the only one who likes that match and feud, but
you've got to give it a good. But see, eventually someone's going to be the face, and like if you just keep it two heels, which is what happens here, it means nothing. Thank God the Quebecers came back because they get the jobs of the Godwins on pay-per-view. Like you rehire these guys, and they look completely different. There's
mm,
something about them that reminds you of the Mounties, of the Quebecers or the Mounties or anything.
I think legally they were not allowed to do that anymore.
I know, but the outfits they have, they just look. And Jacques Rougeau looks like such a slob now. He doesn't even look the same. And they wait, a waste of time. This was the whole thing was a waste of time. I don't know why you brought the Quebecers in. I think Vince just wanted anybody from the past, but again, I would have given the Quebecers to win. You rehired them, let them do something, and they got to do nothing.
No, I mean honestly, the only thing I liked about that match was the music. I like the Quebecers' music, which they've recycled multiple times. So that's it. That's the only thing I liked.
Yeah. Uh, the New Age Outlaws have a promo. They don't know who the fourth man will be. Hulk Hogan will come out today, so they also seem very unsure in their promo. They seem more sure later on, but it's a weird promo. You think like maybe like they were trying to maybe I gotta think like maybe they were like we could get someone big and the Savio's the backup and they just went with the backup. Do you think that's what was going on?
I think they tried. I think they did try. I think they looked at whatever contracts were up with WCW, and who would be available. Maybe somebody from ECW would be available. I don't know if Rob Van Dam was still Mr. Monday Night at the time. I can't remember. Which
Yeah,
actually would have been pretty cool because he's also kind of anti-authority, anti-DX. I mean, like he could have kind of fit in there, but maybe they didn't want Rob Van Dam to take a loss on the ECW side. But I definitely think they tried. Savio Vega was not all right, we're gonna sit here and do this. I've seen
yeah,
rumors of like maybe Macho Man's contract was going up, or maybe that was like the year before. Things were getting weird with Ric Flair at that time. Maybe they tried to get Flair. Who knows? Maybe I think it just none of it worked out, and just, they overpromised and underdelivered hard.
Yeah, they did, and they should be shitting themselves, and the
Even
cops should.
Marty Jannetty, who might have also been with WCW at the time.
Can't do it. He's in WCW at this time.
Yep. See,
Up next, this
X
fucking
Pac was hurt still, so we
yeah.
couldn't use six.
And his return meant way more when they did it. But
Oh, absolutely.
we will get to that in a few months. Jeff Jarrett versus Bradshaw. Jeff Jarrett comes out. He's in the NWA stable. Now, what's crazy, wild, insane, kooky bananas about this fucking match is the commentary because they're talking about Paul Bosch. They're talking about Tennessee. They're talking about all the territories. And now Vince ran from the territories. He never wanted to talk about them. Here, especially now that I know more about Houston wrestling because of the Bruce Pritchard's podcast, here they are talking about the NWA and all these other territories like it's nothing. Like just out in the open, talking about all these other companies. And what's wild to me is WCW. I feel like WCW has more in common with those territories than this, and they mainly talk about WWF history like it's their own. It's a wild time in wrestling, bro. If you think back, because Vince McMahon would never have allowed someone to say Paul Bosch's name on TV, and they're talking about this fucking guy. Bradshaw, Jeff Jarrett has the Rock and Roll Express, Jim Cornette, and Barry Windham, and it's just four losers coming out. It's rough, bro. But Bradshaw comes out, House of Fire. I will say, Smash is pretty good, and I think we should give credit to Bradshaw, none to Jeff Jarrett.
Mm.
See, he did great. I gotta ask you a question before we get into what you thought of this match. So, did you see the interview with Tony Khan where they're asking him what changed? Why did AEW have such an upswing in quality this year? And
About the
he
lack of collaboration now.
collaboration, and I do everything myself. Do you think? Because this is my theory. Jeff Jarrett was helping him with creative, which is why they went when Jeff Jarrett's going to get a title shot. He tried to do his TNA fucking WCW mind tricks on him. He saw the reaction that got, said, "You're off creative, you're off this, you can do the pre shows and whatever you're going to do." And Tony was like, "I just got to focus on myself because these guys are all snakes in the grasses. And Jeff Jarrett is the biggest snake in the grass." Because I think that the negative reaction to the Jeff Jarrett storyline, and I'm a year behind my podcast. Jeff Jarrett thinks that storyline is fucking fire, and so does Conrad. They go on and on like they're about to like shot like they're about to like they think they're writing the next fucking Scorsese film with this Jeff Jarrett storyline, and it gets dropped like a hot potato and never brought up again. I gotta think that's when Tony Khan said, "Enough is enough. I'm doing this on my own."
Yeah, Tony Khan's pretty reactionary and almost immediate reactionary. I think he was willing to give it a chance, even if Jarrett was the one who pitched it and tried to like collab with him. And then he had the match. He had like the MJF match, right? He had a match with somebody.
Sorrow.
With Cesaro?
Yeah, remember because
With
if he beat
Claudio? Yeah. Yes, that is what happens. And it just absolutely shits the bed. And like if you have a bad match with Claudio, come on. Like how many bad matches in the past 15 years can you can say that Claudio has had? So like it is clearly you. And I
yeah
think Tony Khan saw that and him being the almost immediate reactionary person that he comes off as, like changed that all like right away. I mean, he changed Mina Shirakawa's music so fast. Like literally, when she comes out, she has shitty music. Nobody likes it online, so he's online seeing the reaction, and then they play the other MP3. Probably deleted the other one forever, but I think that was one of the many, many points where he was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do this myself. And in a situation like that, if you do it for yourself, you fall on the shield all the time. You can't just he doesn't have to blame Jared, doesn't have to blame creative. He can focus on him. So yes, I do think there's some truth to that.
so I'm on Cage Match, and it's so funny. Jeff Jarrett has not had a match on Dynamite since the Claudio match. He was in AAA, and him and Sam Adonis failed to win the tag belts literally a month before WWE buys it.
Mm,
Then he has in May, he has a six-man tag in Melville, New York. So you probably could have went, but you don't because you're.
yeah.
Then in August, he has a four eight-man tag at WF1FW Back to School Bash. It's him, QT Marshall, Jay Lethal, and Saddam Sting versus four losers. And then he loses at a show in Lexington, Kentucky, the 2nd of November. So he's only had four matches. This was supposed to be his big year. It was a big year long storyline. Only had four matches. I don't know why Tony Khan even allowed that stuff on television. Jeff, like, I'm telling you, this match is good because of Brad. Going back to this match, is good because of Bradshaw. He has nothing to work with in this match. This Jeff Jarrett NWA thing, while looking back, it is mind blowing. Vince went in this direction. I think Vince went in this direction because he knows he's got no direction. It's a waste of everyone's time. Jim Cornette should also be embarrassed by this. He wants to shit on everything AEW does. This is far worse than a lot of the AEW storylines. Yeah, but what I'm saying is Tony Khan should have realized in 1998, like I did, that Jeff Jarrett is a waste of time. And the fact that they put him on TV that much in January, it has to be because Jeff Jarrett had a lot of say on the TV. It has to be. There's no way other people made that decision. You know what I'm saying?
They probably thought it was gonna be a good idea. And the concept of a last outlaw getting one more run is a good idea. I mean, we just saw it with John Cena. Uh, so I mean, it's a good idea. I'm not saying everything executed perfectly, but Jeff Jarrett is just not the guy. Jeff Jarrett, especially the way he's been built up in our minds and in AEW for the past few years. He was the pre-show character in that joke stable with Sanjay Dutt and Jay Leto and the big guy. I forgot the big guy's name. Like, I don't want to say the wrong thing. And his wife, and like they were like losing. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, come on, man.
Um, yeah, he's just they were
You gotta
jokes,
love
and
Satnam Singh.
you got a what?
You gotta love Satnam Singh. He's the greatest
I got
man.
nothing against him at all,
No,
but it's just when you go from that to being like, all right, well now I'm gonna get my last world title shot ever, or I'm gonna try one more time. Like, where were you for 3 years? Why are you all of a sudden think you're worthy for a title shot? And on
you
top of
know.
that, yes, yeah, obviously. I just mean storyline wise.
Oh, yeah.
And then also on top of that, it's not like Jeff Jarrett is a Ron Killing. Say they did it with R-Truth in the WWE. Like R-Truth's like, this is my last year. I want to go as a champion. I feel like people would like consider that more because you've seen R-Truth be enduring and lovable and somebody that you could root for. The Jeff Jarrett character from 2002 to ever has not been a lovable, endearing character, even when he was supposed to be. He just is not. So, like, of course, people aren't gonna get behind him.
Yeah, but it's so funny how like, on the podcast they are defending it so hard. And they and Conrad, and I know it's his job. He can't be like Jeff, this sucks on the fucking podcast. But they're defending it so hard, and it's like, bro, it's uh, it's just not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
Mm-mm.
What I do like about AEW is they have the Continental Classics. You can watch the whole thing on their YouTubes, which is nice.
That's
So,
cool. It's a nice
so
little thing to watch when you want to look back at it.
and 20, yeah, you can watch 2024 and 2023. Um, and yeah, you could sit around all day and watch all the matches, which is nice. I'll give them credit for that. I won't give them credit for anything else, and they should be ashamed of themselves otherwise. But I'll give them credit for that. All right, let's keep going. Well, what do you think of the match? I thought it was okay. I thought it was okay. The
I
Legion
know
of
it was
Doom.
okay. Yeah, I know it was all right. I mean, it was there. Again, it just kind of shows that no one's there. They don't know what to do with Bradshaw. He's a growing character, young man that no one sees anything in yet. I mean, I guess you see a little bit of it if he's in this feud. And then the NWA, the Legion of Doom come out, don't they?
Yeah, they save
Yeah,
Brad.
like the Rock and Roll Express being heels too. I don't know. It's just kind of weird. I don't, I'm not. I'm the wrong person to ask if they've ever been like a big heel team. I don't. My recollection of them has never been that they've been like big heels.
They've tried it every now and then. This was the final time they tried it. It just doesn't work. Ricky Morton in WCW is a singles heel. was awful. It was exposing that he's not good at anything. Um, these are two guys, and I think Enzo and Cass will. I will say, I think Enzo and Cass need to reunite. I think if they reunite, their lives will change. But Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson are the same thing. They're better
They can
together.
only reunite in one place because if they go to I mean, they've reunited it at like house shows, indie shows, and stuff. But if Enzo's in AEW and he's first of all, that fan base will kill Tony Khan if he doesn't bring in Enzo. Um, if he goes in and he can't the real one instead of my name is Enzo. That's not what got them to the dance. That's like if the Outlaws was like, oh, let me tell you something, it's like instead of
AEW. I do. I think they would work. I think they would. I think they're better together. They just haven't been together now in years. They're better together, and they haven't done anything apart. And so I'm right. And they're better together. The thing I would say
they
to people,
try with Big Bill.
the thing, yeah, it's not working. The thing I would say about Enzo is that he was found innocent, and it was 6 years ago. He was found innocent of those charges. His mistake wasn't going right to Triple H and them figuring it out. But I've never been accused of that, so I don't know how I'd react right away finding out. But he's unequivocally innocent. People still want to say that he's not, or they want to hold that against him. And it's like, what are you supposed to do? And I just think they're better together, so they should be together. They should get married, quite frankly.
She
But
get married. Enzo also tried to jump the rail. I think he got himself banned from WWE for life when he tried to get himself on TV during Survivor Series.
but but I'm telling you, like if they got back together, they would become they. It would be like people would probably say to my face that I'm stupid. Within a month, they would be the hottest tag team in AEW. It's just the way it is.
I think maybe not in AEW, but definitely someplace else. Maybe
Or
TNA.
yeah, Big Bill should also go back. It's not going to happen in AEW. Big Bill. Sorry. When was the last time he wrestled? And I love
Probably a collision. Some because he and Ryan Keefe, it's who knows what's going on with Chris Jericho, but like he kind of just left them out to dry,
Yeah. Let's see.
and it's
Ring of
under.
Honor. He's on Ring of Honor. They beat the Dark Order. Just the 21st. Okay,
Yeah,
so he
he's still going. Yeah, he's out there. Good for them. All right.
makes me sick. Okay, let's keep
Yeah,
going.
he's still pretty consistent. So
So Triple H cuts a promo.
also his wife is there.
Yeah, but he should be married to Enzo. We already established. So anyway, so Triple H cuts a promo. He doesn't even care. Triple H doesn't care. He'll make it a handicap match, because he's gonna beat up tag teams anyway in a few years, like Paul London and Brian Kendrick all by himself. And what does he need help? Does he need help now? In fact, Triple H could go beat up Austin right now if he felt like it. He could beat up Cody Rhodes with the belt if he felt like Triple H is the best. He's the best at everything. Doesn't need help. Stupid fucking promo, I thought. You know?
Yeah, waste of time. They're still trying to build this up, and then they're also, like you said earlier, they're building it up, but they're also like, don't get too excited.
Yeah. And so then we cut to one of the this is a GIF of GIFs. The Michael Cole. Oh no, I'm sorry. Dark Hendricks wants to interview the Nation Domination. He goes, let me talk to the leader. The Rock goes to talk, and Farouk goes, I will smack the shit out of you. So Farouk starts cutting this very boring promo, and The Rock is just making faces at the camera and rolling his eyes at Farouk. And it's just it's great. It's great because if you are kind of sick of the Nation of Domination, and he's doing that, it's like, oh, like something different is happening here. Like it's such a he's so funny, bro. And that face he makes, like the eye roll, has been I've used that so many times on Twitter to so many people. It's an all time segment for me.
No, it's I forgot it was on this show, so I was surprised and happy to see it. I was like, oh wow, it's this. Can't believe I can't believe it's this promo. So it's just The Rock coming into his own more as a character, The Rock that we'll eventually get to see. And he has a couple other good ones and No Way Outs in general. 2002 is when he does the like Big Daddy Cool Diesel. He does that one in 2003 is when we get the look at the tongue Hollywood intro. So maybe The Rock brings out the A material on No Way Out.
Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoyed him. Oh, fucking, there was a dine. Okay, anyway. So yeah, it was great. It was a great promo. What's not so great is this match. Again, the entrance of the nation when they're chanting to the beat, Rocky sucks to that beat. Man, I love the nation. Mark Henry, great additions to the nation. I think that helped them out tremendously. Um, really great. I know some people like, well, he's one of the black guys in the black faction. Well, it worked out for Mark Henry. What do you want me to do? Um, you know,
It worked out at the time. I mean, I think it's one of those things that like when it makes sense, you can do it. Um, like Asuka, Io, and Kyrie all being in the same faction, they all had history. The Nation of Domination, they all had like a combined goal instead of it just being like we're disgruntled black guys. Like which is kind of what they were doing with like Bobby Lashley. Although people like that group, Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits that time. But so I think you can make these groups and it doesn't have to be offensive, but it's also a little harder. The nuance, the fans of today just see one thing and don't really get the nuance of everything and get really mad. Like
they're
I
ready to be offended. They're ready to be offended at a moment's notice.
Yeah, I think while she's, so I think, and I don't want again, I don't want to put all the Asian people together. I think putting Julia in that damage control group or whatever the Kabuki Warrior group could help her. I don't know her relationship with Asuka, but right now she is dead in the as of this recording. She is dead in the water on SmackDown. Her being Asuka's like listing the Asuka as Asuka's apprentice, while Kyrie's getting a little jealous, or they're both bullying Kyrie Zane or something like that. You'll get the heat on Julia. You'll get the sympathy for Kyrie Zane. You can maybe get something going at it for WrestleMania, or maybe Julia tries to take over the group and usurp Asuka. You know, I don't know. You can. I think. I think she needs something. So it's not a me thing. That's not a me being like put all ages together. I think there's like if there's a goal in mind, sure. If there's no goal in mind, you just want to put all the Asian people together, the black people together, then don't do it.
Yeah, no, don't do it.
Or Italian people together, FBI.
Oh yeah, they put the Italian people together. The FBI was great. All the
Yeah.
Italian. You know what? They should recreate the Nation of Domination. Have it all be white guys.
I don't put it past them in this era.
That would be hilarious. Like a bunch of like.
It would
Uh,
not. I would not like that one bit. The LWO, which is like the worst group ever because Rey Mysterio just abandons them. I don't think they're a group anymore. I think they're just a tag team.
no, because I think the Joaquin Wild and stuff still wrestle the main event. So they just, they're really committed to making main event their show, and I appreciate that from the WWE.
Good for them. They're very talented. But the Rey Mysterio's hanging out with CM Punk, Dragon Lee, everybody else but his group.
Dragon,
Zelina Vega left.
Dragon Lee's still technically in the LWO. So
I guess. All right. Maybe they're all just on side quests.
I love the fact they brought back the LWO though. I'm a big LWO guy. So
Yeah. They sold some shirts.
hey, didn't they re-sign Santos? Maybe you can take it back. So
Yeah, who knows where he is?
let's go to this match. It's a five on five. Hey, listen, I'll give it this. You know what the key is to make DOA and fucking Los Barricas interesting? Don't put them together. Put them in other matches, and it's not that bad. This match is pretty good. This match is a showcase for The Rock. And what I like about this match is, again, losing doesn't always hurt you. The Rock taps, but it works because The Rock is so arrogant all throughout the show. And the fact that as soon as Shamrock gets his hands on him, he taps like a bitch. That works for the character. And then he gets in Farouk's face, and then D'Lo gets in the face, and the Nation is having some conflict. But I think nowadays people would be pissed if like Kyle Fletcher tapped like that. But sometimes like it's character. We're building a character who's gonna like just take WCW out of business. And I thought the ending was great. I'm so happy he tapped. That was great.
Yeah, again with things making sense and nuance. If someone tapped that way now, like an MJF like tapped like immediately, especially for a match he doesn't give a shit about. Like you're like, okay, I get that. But
Yeah.
you can't. But you almost had a meltdown when Gunther tapped to Jey Uso, which, like, now in hindsight, with everything they did at the end of the year, I don't think that was a good idea. But the story they were telling, where like Jey Uso's brother was choked, Jimmy was choked out, and then Gunther, and then Jay wanted to do the same to Gunther, and then even the match that Jay pretty much squashed his ribs like 3 times and then choked him out so he couldn't breathe. I get how that was supposed to go, but like the way people saw that and the way people reacted to that, you would have thought that Gunther was Dwayne Gill. That is not, like, there was a purpose to it. There was a purpose to The Rock tapping out, and then it's also going to lead, at least for The Rock, WrestleMania, Ken Shamrock and The Rock go at it. So like that feud continues, and it also just kind of helps The Rock's arrogance to like tap out and then blame everyone else around him. So as long as things make sense, you could everything that we've talked about from the last Outlaw to putting people in the same faction to tapping out. If there is a goal and a motive that makes sense, then you can do all of this stuff. If it means nothing, then you're wasting everybody's time.
Yes. Yes, which is yes, exactly. It has to mean something. The Gunther tap out I didn't have a problem with until we got to the Cena thing, and
Yeah,
now
exactly.
like he should not have tapped out. Should Jey Uso have beat him? 100% he should beat him, but it should have been done a different way. But
Yeah.
again, I think Triple H is a moron. So
And maybe they didn't realize that was their end game when they got to it. But they're such long-term storytellers, at least that's what they tell us. Um, if that was the goal, that was always going to be Gunther, John Cena, that should not have happened.
yeah,
Jey
it
Uso
was
could have won with the pin, or could have choked him out if that's what he wanted. Because Gunther was choking people out. So if he choked Gunther out of just rage, or even now, people would have been so mad if he did it and they had to reverse the decision because he didn't let go.
no.
So
I think Jey Uso pinned him with his ooh splash or whatever.
yeah, if they never did the storyline that he was gonna tap out Gunther, I think people would have accepted Jay a little more this year in the past year than they did. But again, things just have to make sense. Make them make sense, please.
Yeah, and Austin cuts a promo. Probably the biggest babyface promo we've seen him cut so far. Where he talks about how it's so much better to whoop ass in Texas. Really putting over his home state and powerful words from Austin. So listen, he's the fucking man.
Yeah, no, this is it. This is the rise. Like the rise continues for Stone Cold.
So I gotta say this match I really enjoyed. I don't remember enjoying it in the past. Um, Here's the thing with Vader, man. I don't know. I don't know if it was because of how Vince was booking him or it's because he lost his edge when Paul Orndorff smacked him. But he's not the same at this point. But they have a good match, and the match's purpose. I think as a kid or I was younger, I wanted Vader to go more toe to toe, but I don't think he can do that anymore. I think it's been beaten out of him. And what this match is basically getting over Kane, and I thought the match did a good job. Kane comes here to play. Kane, the fact that this guy was from Isaac Yankem and the fake Diesel to this character, and it's working so well, big testament to the guy. Is he gonna be part of a coalition that's gonna destroy this country? Yes, but not in 1998. And
No.
he's I like this match. I like this match. Vader's job is to put people over. I was watching this match and I'm like, you know what? If CM Punk came back in 2019, this is how he would be being booked in 2021. Like by
Yeah.
2020, he'd be booked like Vader. Vince would book him like this. Like it
He
just,
would have been booked like Cesaro on his way out of WWE,
yeah.
where and Daniel Bryan, where they fought Roman Reigns and they just kind of lost to him.
It would have been Edge in that pile. It would have been CM Punk and Daniel Bryan in that
Yeah,
pile. Yeah. So he made the CM Punk made the smart move. I but I gotta say I enjoyed this match. I think Kane is ready for the big time, and it's working. Kane is working. It's working faster than I think the Undertaker worked in '91, and I really enjoyed this match. And after the match, he hits Vader in the face with a wrench, and he
yeah.
looks evening. I mean, they're just going all the way, making Kane a monster, setting him up for Undertaker. Yeah, pretty good match. Pretty good match.
No, yeah, I think it was a good match for Vader. It's a good match for Kane. Shows that Kane can go more than a few minutes of just like spooky, spooky stuff that
Mhm.
Kane was doing for a while. I think Vader's longevity in WWE was just unfortunate. I think it's just started off rough. He was in the Rumble. I think he tears his like rotator cuff or tears his shoulder, injures himself. So they have to take him off. Uh, doesn't really get that momentum, but they get to a little bit. Shawn Michaels, that whole thing happens. They don't give it to Vader when I think if Vader beat Shawn Michaels, SummerSlam 1996, we're having a whole different conversation. But that never
Yeah,
happened, and Vader just never reached that upper echelon. So he was just jobber to the stars. And I guess yes, that slapped did not help either. Being slapped by Paul Orndorff in flip flops, according to the story. Nobody wants to no, it's hard to come back from that. But he does a good job here with Kane. Make sure Kane looks like a monster. Make sure Kane gets over, and Kane gets over. And now it's just you're waiting for the return of the Undertaker, but you buy Kane as a legitimate threat because not only did he torch the Undertaker, he defeated Mankind and he defeated Vader. Also two former Paul Bearer proteges, and who who you can see him as a threat instead of just some guy in like a leotard.
yeah. So yeah, no, it was really good. I don't remember liking this match, and I'm watching it now, and I'm like, oh, this is good, and it
Me
might be
too, actually. As a kid, I don't think I like. I remember the wrench, and that was it.
yeah. And then watching it now, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. And Vader's at the end of his rope, but man, I'm missing the old Vader, the '93. Watching those pay-per-views, man, what a talent. He really carried WCW before Hogan showed up. What a talent. And I'm watching this and I'm like, man, how exciting would it have been in '98 or '99? The NWO was beating the shit out of Sting, and Vader comes out with the fucking helmet to save Sting. And like now Sting and Vader are united to take out the NWO. That would have been huge, man. That would have been
It would have
great.
been awesome. He's
I'm
somebody who should have maybe got his release earlier than he did, and head over to WCW. Maybe because Paul Orndorff was still there, he didn't want to go back.
fucking Paul Orndorff, man. But because I mean, like the NW when the NWO came back with a vengeance in '99, he could have showed up. He was no longer in WWE, and they just didn't. Man, that would have been great if
I know he's in Japan. Maybe he preferred to be in Japan.
yeah. Well, he didn't want to get beat up. He probably was afraid Arnaz was going to whoop his ass too. So
Maybe he just had bad blood in WCW.
I know, which sucks. He is a WC. He is a WCW guy. He is like the heart. It's like if Undertaker got beat up by Gerald Briscoe in like 1996 and he never
Oh,
went back. Well, this guy's the
oh
heart,
no.
you know.
Yeah, there's a Reddit thread. I looked it up to see if well, all Japan. I guess Vader had his career resurgence in. But somebody was like, Vader and ECW in 1999 would have been sick.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, man. It's like it is. Yeah, I just realized that it's like if Undertaker got beat up by like fucking Tony Gurria and just vanished. We never saw. Like, oh, he was
Well,
hard.
then we get nothing with Kane. We get nothing.
Yeah. All right, here we go. It's the main event. It's the eight-man tag. It's Stone Cold Steve Austin, Cactus Jack, Chainsaw Charlie, and Owen Hart versus Triple H, Savio Vega, and the New Age Outlaws. Yeah, it's a fun match, man. Austin, again, I think they're protecting Austin. Austin's just been in these like fucking basically, like I said, action scenes more so than matches
Hmm.
since his injury. It was the right move because by WrestleMania he's good to go. I mean, it's almost over 6 months until this guy has, and I don't know what's going on in the house shows, but on TV, until this guy has like a real proper match, it's over a half a year. But when they get to the proper matches, he fucking brings it. I thought this match was a lot of fun. Again, you have Savio, who's a vet. You have Terry Funk, who's a vet. You have Cactus Jack, who's a vet. Owen Hart. You have a lot of guys who have a lot of experience. Quarterbacking this thing, and it was a lot of fun. And at the end, and this was a moment they played up as big on TV. And I realized China hasn't been touched since she showed up a year ago.
Yeah.
Austin stunners China, and they build to it, they build to it, and they let Austin get a moment of humanity where he's like, "I'm not going to touch a woman. I'm not going to touch a woman." And then
Mm.
he's like, "You know what?
Sorry.
I am going to touch a woman." And where's Deborah? Someone hire her.
There
Uh,
it is. I knew it was coming.
and he stunners her. The crowd loves it, and they build to it. And did you ever hear what people would what Jim Ross and Vince McMahon would say to wrestlers, like, "I'm not selling for China."
Oh, what would they say?
Austin sells for China. You are going to sell for China. That's
Mm.
Austin can do it, and he's saving this company. You can do it. I don't want to hear it. Let her beat the shit out of you. And there you go.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
Yeah. And listen, it works. You know, great moment for China. Her selling was a little off, but again, she hasn't been asked to sell for a year. She's been asked to dominate. But a great moment for Austin. Finally he gets to hit women like he always wanted, which is important for his character arc, especially the walk
Mm.
in 2002. Uh,
Mm.
really fun main event. I will say the last two matches made this show much more enjoyable. But again, this is just a stop. They're just trying to get to WrestleMania. They're just trying to get to WrestleMania, and
Yeah.
that's all it is. A stopgap.
Y- No, it's a weird match. I mean, not weird. The part that's weird is like it's unsanctioned brawling first, and then they all get in their respective corners, and then Hebner's trying to control the match. I'm like, if it's unsanctioned, like, what do you, what? All right, fine, whatever. There's a really funny spot where Billy Gunn tries to interfere, and Stone Cold just throws the trash can at him. And that is
That's a hilarious moment.
Billy Gunn's like, I'm done, which is great. You were talking about Owen Hart not capitalizing further, and again, I think they didn't want anything to do with Bret Hart. Earl Hebner gets really defensive with Owen Hart trying to enter the match, and like they go at it for a second, and are just like, man, Owen Hart. I'm just like, if I'm Owen Hart, I'm like, yo, I could beat the shit out of you right now because don't think I forgot what you did. You were a part of this whole thing as well, and they just don't touch it at all, rightfully so, because they don't want people thinking about Brett, or not rightfully so. Owen could have used it, but the match was what it was. It was really just to build up Austin. The crowd only cared when Austin was in the ring.
Yeah,
The China moment I forgot happened. I forgot that did happen, and it's another cool moment and just another rise for Stone Cold Steve Austin. And it just shows how over China is. You're talking about the people who are over. So now you have two women who are
yeah.
almost more over than the entire roster. I guess Ken Shamrock is fifth. I don't know what to tell you, or sixth, but it's interesting to see that. But and it's interesting to see how like much of a lackey loser Triple H looks like. He's just there, like you said, to get beat up, and he's hobbling away, and nobody cares. So it's his change happens very, very soon. But yeah, it was just to build Stone Cold, and it worked. Oh, that's what I'm gonna say. Austin looked like he was gonna do this thing with the signal
The
the
beat.
beer. There's no beer Austin yet. He doesn't. That beer part's not there. That's another part that you just think is with Stone Cold for
Mhm.
a long time. That's not there yet. So he just kind of talks on the mic for 2 seconds and then tosses the mic up into the heavens. But it's interesting to see Stone Cold without the beer, without all the stuff that like you're used to seeing now.
Yeah. No, it is. And yeah, it's a really fun match. And you're right, China's another one. She's another one who like showed that women can get over. You can put them in storylines. People are willing to accept them as equals. And there's so many things. The foundations are there, but man, if The Rock fucking got hit by a car, or Kane fell off a building, I don't know. It's so funny. It's like, eesh, what do you
It's
do?
like the episode of The Simpsons with the Mr. Burns and the softball team where he gets all the baseball players, the real baseball players, and he's like, yeah, of course, nothing's gonna happen to all of them. One of them, sure. Two of them, maybe. But like everything to everyone, and then all the baseball players are something happens to all of them.
Yeah.
You've seen that one, right? The infamous softball, the not infamous, but the famous softball episode of The Simpsons.
Oh yeah, yeah. One of the greatest softball incidents ever.
Yeah.
By the way, if you are into Vader. 6 hours ago, the WCW YouTube channel uploaded Vader versus Ric Flair, one of the best match in Starrcade history, in my opinion.
Mm.
Check it out. Remember, Ric Flair was still a human being and not a mutant in a bar. So go check it
He
out.
was not giving great cameos, apparently.
I watched a few of them. His family, everyone that's related to him should be ashamed of themselves that they're letting this guy. I understand that he's going to do what he was going to do, but it's an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment. He's an embarrassment. He's an embarrassment. That's all I can say about that guy.
I'm gonna, I'm gonna, no comment. But yeah.
He's a fucking loser. He wasn't the goat. Hogan was the goat. You can all burn in hell, man. Look at
Anyway, no way
the
out.
no way. All right, let's go over the next 4 weeks. And again, it's up in the air if we're actually going to get here, but we're going to try. Next week, it's Super Bowl 8 with Hulk Hogan versus Sting. Then in 2 weeks, it's ECW Living Dangerously 98 with Lance Storm and what was it? Lance Storm and Al Snow versus Chris Candido and Shane Douglas. Why
Yeah.
that's the main event of that should be the main event of tonight's fucking paper.
It's such a detour from what we're looking at. I mean, I'm so disconnected from what was happening back then in ECW, so I don't even know how we got here, but maybe it'll just be a really well wrestled match and show.
Hopefully. And then in 3 weeks, we have Uncensored 98, which is Hulk Hogan versus Macho Man in a steel cage. And then in 4 weeks, if we get there, we'll see what the world looks like. WrestleMania 14, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Shawn Michaels. What you looking forward to?
Still Super Bowl. Have not watched it yet. We'll be watching it very, very soon. I know some big things happen on that Super Bowl, so just kind of want to see how they live up to my memory.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Super Bowl, and I'm looking forward to WrestleMania because I feel like this is where the WrestleMania gets its mojo back.
Yeah, I don't remember the rest of the show. I mean, I remember The Undertaker. I remember Shawn Michaels. I remember some other stuff. I don't want to spoil if anybody is in the has not watched it and is watching along with us for whatever reason. Um, yeah,
Yeah, I'm excited. Hopefully, Pratik will be joining us. So that's it. Let's not plug anything, Cogs, so far in advance. We're gonna just let you know, subscribe, give us a like, and hopefully, it's gonna be a weird year. Gonna be a weird year in terms of vault material. We'll see where this podcast goes, but we're definitely on track until WrestleMania 14. So we will see you soon. Thank you for everything, and remember, Tony Khan stinks. All
I
right.
know that's his opinion. All right.
Thank you. We'll see you then. We'll see you next time.